Hello, Americans. I'm Paul Harvey, and you're about to hear the rest of the story. Not really. You guys can probably tell by my Alfred Hitchcock-esque profile pic and all that stuff that I'm a fan of the old stuff. My parents were born in the early 20th century, and so thus I was given a whole little bit of culture that a lot of people my age didn't have. My parents are sadly gone right now, but my mom is the architect of my cooking skills. She told me that I needed to learn to cook so that I could impress the ladies, and I was all about impressing the ladies. So in any case, welcome to my kitchen in generally sunny Las Vegas. It's a little less sunny today. We've had a lot of windstorms this week, but I am the Obesity Sherpa and want to welcome all of you, my fellow eaters out there. Today, we're going to make something fun. And I just want to say that you may not have the same equipment that I have to make this, but you can do it in a wok. Woks are not too terribly expensive. You're probably going to want at least two to do what we're about to do today. I'm going to make it on my Blackstone griddle. Okay, so who likes to eat at Benihanas? I like to eat at Benihanas. I don't like paying for Benihanas. I feel like the last time I went to Benihanas, I probably dropped 70, 80 bucks and I was not full. And it was my wife and me. It was the two of us, but we're not drinkers, so there was no alcoholic beverages in that cost. That was just food costs. So didn't really like that. So Benihanas kind of hit big in I think the 70s, and they did what is technically known as teppanyaki, but they refer to it as hibachi. The difference being, hibachi is done on those little grills that you see on bachelor patios. They do have like the grates and everything, and teppanyaki is done on more of a griddle. But the concept of Benihanas was kind of developed by a guy who wanted to appeal to the U.S. population, and when people from the U.S. would go to Japan, they would call something hibachi and then they would make them teppanyaki. So that, you might call it teppanyaki, you might call it stir fry. That's what it was called back when I was a kid. My mom had her bright red electric plug-in wok that had no guts whatsoever and took forever to cook anything. But in any case, what we're going to do is we're going to cut up a bunch of meat, we're going to cut up a bunch of vegetables, and we're going to cook them up on my Blackstone griddle, which if you don't have one yet, I highly recommend them. But as I also mentioned, you can do this in woks. And the way to do this kind of stuff properly is I actually cook each component separately. I cook the veggies separate from the meat. I cook the noodles separate from the meat and the veggies. And then I combine them all in the end, give them a good toss, hit them with some sauces, and then serve it. And this is Japanese steak sauce, also known as yum yum sauce. It kind of looks like fry sauce, but it doesn't taste like fry sauce. It is a little sweeter, but this goes great on this dish. So in any case, I'm going to cut up all of this stuff, and then we are going to griddle it up, and it's going to be fantastic. We've got some chili garlic sauce. We've got yum yum sauce to go on the meal after it's done. We've got some ribeye steaks. We've got some ramen noodles, which we're going to use for stir-fry purposes, cauliflower, water chestnuts, rice vinegar, soy sauce, and zucchini. So we're going to cut this all up, get it ready. This week's shoes are not fun shoes. This week's shoes are my Reeboks that I wear to the gym or when I go out and walk my dog. We're looking at these shoes this week because this is going to be a pretty good sized meal. There's a lot of carbs. You're going to want to go and walk that off. Do put on your exercise shoes after you eat this meal and go take a walk. We've cut up everything. So here's our cauliflower, cut and rinse. A bunch of zucchini and squash, also cut up. Cut up our ribeye steak. Went with a good cut of meat with this. You can definitely get something cheaper and marinate it and all that, and that's great. Since I'm doing teppanyaki and I want to feel like I'm eating Benihana's quality, I went for the good stuff this time, and it was on sale. And then our water chestnuts that are canned. That's just a texture food. I like to have some texture in there. There's not really, it's like rice. It kind of assumes the flavor of whatever's with it, and that's great. I cracked open all of my noodle packets. And they came with seasoning packets so that you can make ramen. I emptied them all into this bowl because what we're going to do is use them to actually season the noodles rather than make a soup. Let's take this stuff out and start griddling it up. We're here at my Blackstone griddle. I'm wearing my dirty apron for outdoors. And we're going to go ahead, we've got all hot and warmed up. So we're going to go ahead and hit it with some oil. This is just vegetable oil. You can use canola oil, whatever you like, but you want to get a good bit of oil down on that. Spread it around a little bit. What we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and put the steak on there. What we want to do is go ahead and just sear this, get it nice and brown. So first up, I'm going to hit it with some soy sauce. Chili garlic sauce. I'm just going to use going to drop a soup spoonful of that on there. All right, that looks pretty good for first pass. I'm going to pull that off the griddle. And that's going to go back on at the end when we combine it. Throw down a little more oil. And it's veggie time. Throw these on too. Our water chestnuts. And the soy sauce. And since I love spice, and this flavor is great in this stuff, hit this with a little bit of chili paste as well. Put about a soup spoon and a half in there. So there's no specific amount of time this needs to be cooked. You just need to cook it until the zucchini is tender and the cauliflower, you want to cook it until the cauliflower is not mushy but kind of firm, but a little bit more, well, not chewy, but you want it to still be a little firm. You don't want it to be mushy. Alright, so we're going to start with the soy sauce. And a little bit of the chili sauce. The powder that's used to turn this into ramen under normal circumstances. Now we will reintroduce the meat and veggies. All right, and we're done. That's pretty, right? Look at all of that. That's a pretty good meal. You could feed a bunch of people with that. You'd have a dinner party. So, didn't take too long to cook. I think that the total cook time, even with the cutting things up, was about 45 minutes. So, this is looking pretty delicious. A little teppanyaki for you, or if hibachi or stir fry, if you will. As I said, took about 45 minutes total cook time, cut time, the whole thing. Cooked it pretty quick on my nice hot griddle. If you do it in woks, you could even do it with one wok. It'll just take a little longer. When I was doing it with woks, I would do one thing at a time. Hope that you try it and enjoy it. If you do try it, please share pictures with us. Please post pictures on our social media. Please like, follow, and share on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm still sorting out TikTok, but we're on YouTube, and that's our main channel, but also on Rumble as well. And you can find us on most every social media channel, including Tumblr. But again, please like, follow, and share. And we're going to apologize again to our guest, Jimmy Kimmel, who was going to show us how to make his famous squirrel pie. Ran out of time again. Honestly, sounds disgusting, but he says it's good. So someday we'll make this happen. Until next time, enjoy your dinner, enjoy your lunch, enjoy all your food. And thanks for being a fan of food.